Hi guys, welcome. This is Lisa from astrologysphere.com. In this video I'm going to be doing eclipse forecasts for the upcoming eclipse season, which begins on the 26th of December and extends to the 21st of June 2020. So what I'm going to do is look at the main energies surrounding eclipse season, and then I'm going to break these down sign by sign for each of the 12 zodiac signs. This is something new I've introduced to my website for members, so it's probably something I'm going to be sending out with my moon phase newsletters, which normally go out twice a month. So if you're interested in receiving these on a regular basis, then please do subscribe. All you have to do is go to astrologysphere.com/subscribe and sign up. It's absolutely free, and it would be fabulous to have you on this journey with me as we go into 2020. So without further ado, let's get into this forecast. So before we get into the individual forecasts, I'm just going to give an overall summary of the main energies that will be constellating in relation to the eclipse cycle between now and June 2020. I have, if you're interested, also done a more in-depth video which looks at the kind of macro cycles relating to the last decade and the energies that relate to these particular eclipses, as well as the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So if you're interested in that, then you can have a look at my other video, which is called something like the December 26th solar eclipse big picture. So kick-starting eclipse season is the solar eclipse in Capricorn, which happens on the 26th of December 2019. So this begins a brand new 6-month cycle for the collective, which will last until the 21st of June 2020, when we have a new eclipse, a new solar eclipse that will take us into the next eclipse cycle. So this particular eclipse, like most solar eclipses, happens at new moon. So you could say that these type of events are really turbocharged new moons, where you are looking to plant the seeds and set your intentions for the upcoming 6 months. This particular eclipse happens, as I said, in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn on the whole is the archetypal father or authority figure. So Capricorn concerns power, responsibility, it's the inner parent, it's parenting in general, it's taking responsibility for things, owning things. It's also about working towards achieving your ambitions. Capricorn is earth energy, so this is fantastic for manifesting of all kinds. It's really great for career and coin, basically. So whilst the last eclipse cycle concerned the private sphere, this is very much about the public sphere. It's about making your mark, it's about shining in the world, and it's about achieving what it is that you want to achieve when it comes to your New Year's resolutions. So where there is a solar eclipse, there tends to be a follow-up lunar eclipse, and this year things are no different. After the solar eclipse in Capricorn, we're followed with a lunar eclipse in Cancer on the 10th of January, so in the opposite sign. So lunar eclipses happen at full moon, and they are like turbocharged full moons. Full moons on the whole tend to be about culminations or endings, and in this case what we're doing is closing out the last eclipse cycle, which began on the 2nd of July 2019 with the solar eclipse in Cancer. So Cancer is a water sign. It's the archetypal mother. This is about family, it's about the past, it's about the unconscious, it's about habits, also diet to an extent, it's about self-care. And Cancer, being a water sign, tends to be concerned with emotional things. We have to bear in mind that this is also occurring at the full moon, and that the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer. So this could be quite an emotional time, a time of release, a time of letting go, a time of endings. So that's just something to bear in mind during the first half of January, and as we go into the waning moon cycle, there may be things that you need to close out from last year before you can move fully into the solar eclipse energy that will be getting underway on December the 26th. So as if it wasn't enough to have two eclipses beginning a brand new decade, we are also due to have a Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the sign of Capricorn on the 12th of January 2020. So this begins a brand new cycle as far as these two planets are concerned. They tend to come together every 35 or so years. It's a little bit, it varies a little bit because of Pluto's elliptical orbit. Essentially, these two planets have very similar resonances. That's because before Pluto was discovered in the 1930s, many of the attributes that it now carries were assigned to the planet Saturn. Saturn was considered to be the outermost planet in the classical pantheon of planets. So a lot of the symbolism between the two overlap. Saturn is the archetypal Grim Reaper. It's also the archetypal father. So you could say that this is Emperor energy. Then we have Pluto, which is also associated with power, usually hidden power, invisible power. Pluto in many respects is symbolized by the phoenix, so this is death and then rebirth. So we're talking more about cycles here. Together, the two of them coming together in the sign of Capricorn is really quite intense energy. It's quite serious. It's also earth-based, so it's very much to do with what happens on Earth, structures that underpin the fabric of our lives. So we're talking here about power structures, so political structures. We're talking about banking. We're talking about bureaucracy. So those things on a mundane level, we might see some changes happening there. Together, Saturn and Pluto are about cutting back, stripping back. So it's possible that at this time, this energy could coincide with an economic recession. I do talk about the macro trends to do with Saturn and Pluto in my video on the big picture concerning the solar eclipse. So if you're interested in how the Saturn-Pluto conjunction fits into the trends that have been happening over the last decade or so, then have a watch of that video. Needless to say, this energy will, because it's happening in the same sign as the solar eclipse, there will be some sort of continuation when it comes to the December 26th solar eclipse. It's also fair to say that many of us will already have a sense of what this energy is all about, because Saturn and Pluto were going in and out of orb of each other during 2019. They came very close to each other in the first quarter of 2019, and then they went retrograde and parted ways, and then they started to come back together again in November, December of 2019. So you've probably already got a sense that this is quite heavy energy. It's about letting go of things. It's about the truth. It's about revealing what's hidden. It's also to do with rebuilding and restructuring. It's about karmic justice and karmic rebalancing. So essentially about divine timing too, and a sort of, I hate to use the word reckoning, but that's certainly a possibility when it comes to these two planets. There's not really a lot of a sense of mercy when it comes to either Saturn or Pluto. This is the hard taskmaster and the lord of the underworld. So these are not easy energies to have to deal with, but nonetheless, if you're prepared to kind of own your stuff, if you're prepared to do the work that they demand of you, then you can reap some fantastic rewards in the future. It's just worth bearing in mind that because these planets move so slowly, you're not likely to see immediate rewards for your actions. This is more long term. This is kind of building the foundations for the future. So that in a nutshell is a summary of the three main kind of energies that will be at play in the background between now and June of 2020. Just commenting overall, it's worth saying that in many respects this is about a balancing of masculine and feminine energies. So Capricorn in tarot terms, you could associate with not just the world and the devil, but also the emperor. And Cancer, although it is associated with the moon card and with the chariot, you could also associate it to an extent with the Empress energy, because it's the archetypal mother. The sun and moon have similar resonances. These are the cosmic yin and yang energies. So we're talking about the sun is masculine energy and the moon is, generally speaking, feminine energy. So you could say that between now, sort of over the next 6 months, that there's a balancing happening between masculine and feminine energies. Right, so let's get into the individual forecasts. The best way to leverage these is to listen to the forecast for your rising sign, your ascendant. This will ensure that the planets are in the correct position as far as life areas are concerned, so they're more likely to be accurate when it comes to predictions. Although you can also listen for your sun sign and then for your moon sign. If you'd like to order a personal forecast for the upcoming 6 months or 12 months, you can go to my website and order one from astrologysphere.com. So for Scorpios, the next 6 months or so is really going to revolve around the need to change the way that you perceive things, the way that you communicate, the way that you travel. Your perceptions, ideas and attitudes are likely to undergo quite a major transformation between now and June of 2020. And that's because of the Cancer Capricorn eclipses that are happening on the 26th of December and the 10th of January 2020. So the first major influence comes in with the solar eclipse in sort of end of December. And this is giving Scorpios a chance to make a fresh start when it comes to communication, particularly the way that you communicate your ideas to others. It's how you interact within your local and immediate environment. So, you know, this is neighbors, close relatives, people that you live with, people you encounter on an everyday kind of basis. It's also transport and vehicles and your commute to work. So these are things that you're probably going to be thinking about changing or sort of improving between now and June of 2020. Now this is going to involve it because whenever there's a solar eclipse, there's always a corresponding lunar eclipse. So we need to think about the kind of flip side of this particular solar eclipse, and that involves the lunar eclipse in Cancer, which happens on the 10th of January. And this is going to be asking you to release certain patterns, behaviors or beliefs that have been constellating since June or July of 2019. This is the last solar eclipse cycle that we're now phasing out. So it's possible that during this time you've been really exploring your philosophy of life, your kind of big picture, you know, your sort of your long-term plans. And you may have been studying or traveling, and at this time you may decide that you know, local is sort of the way to go. That it's all very well having these sort of foreign connections, this international outlook, but ultimately what makes you happy is being part of a local community. And so your focus is going to shift very much away from what's far away from you to what's closer to home. So at the Cancer eclipse on the 10th of January, you know, it's possible that you may be forced to adjust some of your beliefs or realize where your attitudes or perceptions may be holding you back when it comes to communicating your truths, or having you know, just sort of being more congruent when it comes to how you express yourself to others. So don't be surprised if you find yourself wanting to let go of some beliefs, you know, or outdated philosophies at the lunar eclipse on the 10th of January. So just going back to the solar eclipse, Jupiter forms a very important part of this particular energy. So Jupiter in Capricorn will be giving Scorpios the opportunity to expand their horizons when it comes to money, possessions, income, self-esteem, and personal resources. So over the next 6 months or so, it's if you want to change a job, if you're wanting to improve your income, you want to upskill or improve your self-esteem, Jupiter is there to help you. The thing is that you're going to, and it may also tie in, the self-esteem and the communication themes are likely to tie in. So in order for you to communicate more confidently to others, it may be that you need to develop some confidence and grow your self-esteem. And this may mean really working hard on, you could sign up for a course in public speaking, or perhaps just work with a speech therapist, or just really work on trying to express yourself in a more confident way, and seeing how this impacts on close relationships with those in your immediate environment. And then on the 12th of January we have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction also in Capricorn, and Pluto is your ruler, Scorpio. So this energy is likely to be quite personal for you, and as somebody who's not really afraid of confronting the truth, or being really upfront and honest, or making the changes that are required in order to sort of move forward, you're probably not going to find this as difficult as some of the other zodiac signs might. So at this time, you're being asked to cut back or change, or kind of step up to the plate when it comes to the way that you, again, express yourself, body image, physical appearance, as well as money, possessions, income, and so on. So, in other words, if you're wanting to make improvements to your earning capacity, the way that you come across when it comes to expressing yourself, then it's time to perhaps get rid of a hang-up. For example, have you got a speech? Do you think you've got a speech impediment? Are you self-conscious about the way you look? Is it time to sort of drop those, or actually do something about them? This is really kind of like, are you prepared to do the work to make the changes that are going to really take things forward? If you're not happy when it comes to your job, if you don't feel that it's paying well, maybe you need to upskill in order to secure a better job. It might be that you're looking for a new job that's also closer to home, so that you don't have to commute as far, and this might mean letting go of a job that has foreign connections. There's definitely a tie-in between all these themes, because they're all in the signs of Cancer and Capricorn. So you may want to think about as well signing up for a course, getting a life coach, somebody that's going to help you to explore your values, realize what your skills and your unique selling points are, and these in turn could help you, to sort of get a better job that will will boost your self-esteem. So as you can see, all these things are kind of interlinked. So guys, that's really it. I hope you've enjoyed these horoscopes, that they've been helpful to you and given you some pointers on the major trends that are going to be happening for you between now and June of 2020. If you haven't already, you may want to go to my website and find out more about eclipses. I do have a library of eclipses going back about 15 years, so if you're interested in looking at previous eclipses, then please sign up for my membership. It's free. It gives you access to my eclipse library. It gives you my it also means that you get my bi-monthly newsletters, which I send out to everyone on my mailing list, and it also means that you get exclusive and early access to any upcoming forecasts that I do that are not in the public domain. So with that, I wish you all the best for 2020. I hope the eclipses bring you everything that you hope for. Good luck with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and hope to see you again really soon.